Well, here it is, guys, the new 2015 Mustang, and it's finally my turn to get behind the wheel. Now, I think it's safe to say that this has been one of the most closely watched and carefully scrutinized cars of all time. From the early renderings and spy photos, the internet rumors and speculation, all of course leading up to the massive global unveiling. That's right, for the first time ever, millions of people worldwide will be able to enjoy what over 9 million Americans have been enjoying for the last 50 years. That's right, this thing is going global, and now it's my turn to give you guys a closer look at the new Mustang. The new styling, the new independent rear suspension, those quarter-mile times and dyno numbers, all to answer, is this the best Mustang of all time? One of the most polarizing topics with the new 2015 Mustang is without a doubt the styling. By now, we've all heard the exhausting comparisons to a two-door Ford Fusion or other car brands, and the argument that the 2015 just does not look like a Mustang. Well, let's take a closer look to some of the exterior lines, and you can judge for yourself. Up front, the car is very much a Mustang, from the trademark shark bite grille reminiscent of the 60s and early 70s Mustangs, but also some of the S197 Mustangs. Another part up front here that is undeniably Mustang is the daytime LED running lights, which do pay homage to the headlight gills found on the first Mustang. I will say that it is a little odd not seeing the signature GT fog lights in the grille for the first time in 10 years, but on the flip side, those functional hood vents are back for 2015, albeit in a totally different location. Moving to the side of the car, you'll notice more Mustang DNA. The sides of the sheet metal have been sunken in, which is something that has been passed on from generation to generation. The A-pillar has actually been pulled back with this car to accentuate the longer hood line, which in the minds and the eyes of the Ford designers gave the car a more powerful look. Now, that more powerful look does get helped out thanks to the wider shoulders, which are new for 2015, but without a doubt, one of the biggest changes to the exterior styling is the return of the fastback roofline for the first time in decades. Finishing in the rear of the car here, you will notice the iconic tri-bar tail lamps are in place along with the sequential tail lights. Now, the 13 and 14 taillights, in my opinion, might go down as one of the best ever on a Mustang. So while the 15 taillights are beautiful in all their three-dimensional glory, they are going to be graded on a very tough scale. Noticing the sleek deck lid panel here, it is devoid of that fake gas cap for the first time in 10 years on our GT, and the love it or hate it color-matched rear valance, which will definitely have some help in the aftermarket. While the exterior styling might be hit or miss for some Mustang fans, it's really hard not to consider the newly redesigned interior a complete home run. Now, as you may or may not know, the name Mustang was originally inspired not by a horse, but rather a legendary World War II fighter plane, the P-51 Mustang. And it's really no coincidence that this car has a very cockpit or aircraft-inspired feel. From the toggle switches to the big round analog gauges, and even the ground speed indicator on the speedometer. Now, I will say that the interior has a very nice touch of refinement. Everything that looks to be metal is, and it's really a night and day difference from the S197. Over 20 new pieces of tech have found their way into the interior here of the 2015. Of course, old favorites like the productivity screen and track apps are back, which are now standard on the GT, by the way, but there are some new things worth mentioning. I think the biggest of which is the selectable driving modes. On the modes here, you can select between normal, sport plus, track, and snow and wet mode. Now, by selecting these different modes, it's going to alter 3 different areas of your car's parameters: your stability control, your steering feel, and your engine parameters. Now, another new feature here at the 2015 is the launch control, which is previously only available on the 13 and 14 Shelby GT500s. And of course, this lets you dial in your optimal leave settings or launch settings, giving you your best launch. But perhaps one of my favorite parts of the new tech here at the 2015, which is standard on all GTs, is the line lock. Now, this just makes big smoky burnouts that much easier. Finally, here with all 2015 Mustangs, they are now keyless. You receive this key fob, automatics actually receive remote start, which is a nice touch, and all cars do include remote and intelligent access, meaning you can leave this fob in your pocket, lock and unlock your car, and even start the car with a push of a button, now standard on all Mustangs. Finally, last but not least, for all my Mustang fans, I know you'll appreciate this, the cup holders have finally been moved over to the side enough where you can rest your arm on the console comfortably and still shift gears. All right, the 5-liter Coyote motor is back for 2015, and it's better than ever. Now, power output is up to 435 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque at the crank, up 15 and 10 respectively from last year. This made for 382 horsepower and 359 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels on our dyno jet. Now this motor borrows a ton from the previous generation Boss 302, such as the forged connecting rod, some of the valve train components, and stiffer valve springs with completely new head castings designed to flow much better with the bumpier camshafts. Now in my opinion, this motor should be well more capable compared to the old motor as far as total power output in the aftermarket. So basically this thing should be able to hold a little bit more boost, a little bit more power without coming apart. Time will tell. Both the 6R80 automatic transmission and the MT82 manual transmission are back into the 2015 with some improvements. Now the sometimes finicky MT82 has gotten some improvements, mainly the new clutch, along with some new synchros that Ford claims makes for a better shifting experience, and so far I'd have to agree with them. However, that being said, an aftermarket shifter should definitely be at the top of your mod list, just to clean up some of the play found here at the stock shifter. No big surprise there. But let's get to the big story, right? For the first time in 50 years, all models of the Mustang will come complete with an independent rear suspension, a welcome change for many owners and enthusiasts, maybe not so much for the hardcore drag racers. Now, Ford's goal with this car was to make it handle just as good, if not better, than the outgoing previous Boss 302, and all tests they have done so far have shown that to be the case. Now, again, first impressions, this thing is much flatter, woohoo, and just handles much better than the previous stick axle car by a long shot. It's actually not even close. As far as ride quality is concerned, well, this thing again is refined all the way. Now the rear suspension obviously handles bumps much better than a stick axle car, especially when going through turns or over uneven pavement, where a live rear axle will tend to pitch and get unsettled. This thing just handles it and keeps on trucking. Now Ford actually had to totally redesign the front suspension to keep up with the new rear, and in fact they've done so by doing a double ball joint front suspension complete with a total new subframe underneath there, which has made the way for some huge brakes. In fact, the biggest yet ever on a Mustang. The Performance Pack GT, which I'm in right now, is now sporting 6-piston fixed caliper Brembos with 15-inch vented rotors. Now that's pretty darn impressive, but consider the fact too that non-performance pack cars now receive a solid brake upgrade in the form of a 4-piston caliper and rather large brakes. So with all that said, is the 2015 Mustang the best of all time? Well, in my opinion, yes, it's not even close. Straight line performance aside, this car outperforms the previous generation in just about every way. I mean, this car just drives much better, handles completely better than the S197, and the power delivery is smooth, and again, just more capable, and I'll use that word refined one more time because this thing has gotten a lot of refinement over the last year. Lee Iacocca once said that the Mustang will, quote, mean more things to more people than any other automobile on the road. And never has that been more true than with the 2015 Mustang. With its 21st century styling, powerful yet diverse engine lineup, and now global availability, people worldwide will be able to see what makes Mustang an automotive icon. I'm Justin, thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang in 2015, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.